Hi third graders, this lesson is for you today. I'm drawing a clock. We are going to be drawing a clock. We're actually going to draw it this way. We need a piece of paper and something to write with, a pen, pencil, colored pencil, marker, whatever you have. And we are drawing a clock because in third grade, one of the things you do is tell time to the nearest minute. And I thought it would be fun to do that today. So to get started, we will be drawing a big giant circle on our paper. And the reason we're doing our page vertically is because we'll need to add some things at the top and the bottom. So when we draw our circle, leave space at the top and the bottom and a little bit of space on the sides too. Okay, here's my circle. I drew it by starting at the top and doing one side and then the other side. Okay, once you have your circle, then we're going to make our numbers. So we're finding the very top of the page and we're going to write 12. Make sure that I did. Okay, and then at the bottom we have 6. And then over to your right? We have 3. And on the other side we have 9. All right, and then we'll fill in our other numbers 1 and 2. We're going to space those out. So just try to space them evenly. 4 and 5. So try to look and see where about where that would be if you divided that space evenly. Okay, and then we'll go 7 and 8. And then we have 10, 11. It's important that we try to space those evenly because each one represents 5 minutes in between. So now we know that on each of these numbers, that's a minute. Let's go ahead and draw a little tick mark by each number like this, all the way around. Okay, and then we are going, not every clock has all the minutes drawn out, but we're going to do that to help us draw the time. So we've got, if we want to make 5 minutes in each of these sections, we need to draw four more lines in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because we already drew the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just doing my best to make these as evenly spread out as I can. But it's not going to be perfect. We're okay with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Made all the way around. All right, and remember you can pause the video if you are taking more time, or you can always jump ahead if you're done early. Okay, and then let's go to the very middle. So try to find between the 9 and 3 and the 12 and 6, and we'll put a dot. where the hands of our clock will be coming from. And then I want you to look at the time that it is right now for you. So right now it says 12:48 on my screen. So I'm going to do the hour hand a little bit, almost to the 1. It's past the 12 and it's 12:48. So that's getting close to the 1. And my hour hand is my shorter hand. So here it was at 12 and then it's getting close to 1 o'clock with my hour hand. And then my minute hand, so 48, I'm going to look for my, so we're counting by fives, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48. So pointing right here to the 48 with a long hand is my minute hand. That is my minute hand. Okay, so hopefully you found what time it was for you and you can draw that on your clock. And you can do that whether you're looking at a digital or analog clock, whatever kind of clock you're using, and you can actually just look at a clock like this if you have one. Okay, then this is kind of where it gets fun and creative. So with our hands, you can make these a little thicker if you want, so they stand out a little more. I'll probably have to make my circle a little bigger in the middle too. And then I have my little arrows here, because I bet you've noticed that clocks are all so different. They really have a lot of art to them when someone makes a clock like this. So you get to design your clock today. For mine, I'm going to make it like it's sitting on a table with a little feet kind of to the clock right here, and I'm going to do a design on top. So first, I'm going to draw my outline of the outside of the clock. Come to both sides. Okay, so here's the shape of the outside of my clock. You can do the same kind of a shape if you want, and then you can just still make yours different depending on what designs you want to add. But you can change this shape, of course. I'm sure you have lots of ideas, so whatever you want to do for the outside of the clock. For mine, I thought of putting a bird on the top, so I'm going to do that. Do a little bird, like it's just part of the clock design, sitting up there. Okay, there's my fun little bird. And then I think what I'll do next is just take some time to add details. So I added a few details to my bird. And then there's lots of room down here where you could do like some carvings or some paintings on your clock. I think that would be really fun for me because I like drawing vines and flowers. So that's what I'm going to carve into mine. And I think it goes with my bird theme at the top. So think about your theme, the theme of your clock, and what would go with yours. I used to really love drawing vines and flowers when I was in elementary school. So that's kind of fun. All right, and then today I will be coloring my clock with colored pencil. That's the medium that I'm using this week. Make sure you sign your name in the bottom right corner. And I want you to think about what you could use to color in yours. Maybe you want to try colored pencil with me. That'd be great. If you want to do marker or crayon, paint, whatever you have. Looks like I need to turn this back on. So I'll make that copy. I hope that you're finding some supplies to color with at home. Remember, you could use chalk pastel. If you wanted to, you could do real chalk, sidewalk chalk, outside. And you could draw this whole thing on your sidewalk and take a picture and send it to me. That would be really fun. You don't even have to take a picture. But there's lots of options for coloring these in. So let's just make sure that this is going to get a copy for us. When we're coloring our clock, like if you go to the store and you look at the clock section, they all look different. There's all different colors and styles. There's fancier clocks and more plain clocks. So really whatever works for you, you get to do. I'm gonna have a bright clock today. I'm gonna start out with some yellow here. Choosing a color for my clock today reminds me of a clock I have at home here that I like to paint things in my house. I like to paint furniture or frames or sometimes even clocks. So I have a clock that I've repainted once or twice. And just because I sometimes like to change the color of things without getting a new one, just painting it and making it new. You get to do that today with your clock. You choose how you want it to be. And hopefully this is bringing back some memories for you of learning how to tell time probably last year too, and throughout the years. Maybe some of you have had a lot of practice at it because you've talked about it a lot in class, or you've just used a clock like this at home, so you have a lot of practice. While I'm sure others haven't had as much practice, maybe because you usually look at the time on a phone or a microwave or somewhere where it's just written out in numbers. So hopefully this is good practice either way, or good review. thinking about designing your clock, you can think, what kind of clock would you have if you could have any kind of clock on your wall? If it had to be one with hands, like this one, but would it be sports themed? Would it be flowers? Would it be musical? Would it be like a sunrise, or would it maybe change depending on the time of day? Maybe it would follow the day's colors. Like, for example, in the morning it would look like a sunrise, and then be like a blue sky in the middle of the day, and then it would change to a sunset at night, stars while you sleep. That would be so cool. You can think of whatever you would invent for your clock. That would be a cool clock if it could change. Maybe it would tell you the day of the week. Or, I don't know. Okay, let's add some green here. Maybe it has like characters from your favorite book on it. Or maybe it has some of your favorite words, even like a quote that you like, that you could put around it or inside. I had some furniture growing up that actually was kind of like this. It was yellow with painted, we painted some flowers on it, and then it had some of our favorite quotes painted around the outside. It wasn't a clock, but it was a bookshelf and a mirror that we painted ourselves, my sister and I and my mom. So that's kind of fun. It's making me think of that. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I hope that yours looks different than mine. I hope you're doing something that reflects you. Maybe it's similar to mine, but maybe it's, has completely different elements. I was just thinking that the center of this is a circle, so that could be like a certain kind of ball you like, a basketball, a soccer ball, or even like a plate. You could do like your favorite meal drawn on here. Maybe time for breakfast or something. So be creative with what you think would be fun and maybe different than what other people would think of. The nice thing with colored pencils is that one nice thing is that you can make your own colors. If you don't have a color that you want, you can blend them on top of each other. And that's a really nice thing about colored pencils. I wanted like an orangish pink, So I did orange and pink there. All right. Now, I think I'm going to do a lighter blue for the face of the clock. I think that's what this part is called that has the numbers on it. I didn't actually draw a face like with eyes and a mouth, but that's another idea. Since it's a circle, you could do that too. Do a watermelon. It's a circle. Trying to think of other ideas for you to get you thinking. Even a color wheel. Do a color wheel clock for art. Have all those colors going around. That would be cool. I've never seen that before. That might be a fun thing to try. I'm going to play off that idea of the sunrise here. I think my clock is reminding me of morning time with this bright yellow and light blue, these lighter colors, and I love that joyful morning feeling when things are just bright, and when maybe on a Saturday when you just have extra time to do things in the morning. So I'm going to try to get kind of some sunrise colors here in the middle. So I started with light blue on the outside, and then I'm thinking about the clouds in the morning when there's a sunrise, how they are tinged with pink and yellow, or they can be. So let's try that out. I'm going to blend some colors. You can see I'm using the side of my colored pencil right now because I'm trying to get a soft layer of colored pencil. Just thinking about the sky and the clouds and how it's soft colors, and I'm planning to blend it into some of the blue, and I'm going to add some yellow. So when I blend the pink into the blue, it should kind of create like a lavender, a light purple. Just kind of how the sky looks sometimes. And then do the same thing with the yellow. So this could be my sunrise clock. Getting kind of fancy with it now. Just getting, I have new ideas. Once I started, got new ideas. I wonder if you can see that as well. And I bet that happens to you sometimes. I bet you, if you start something, then you may get more ideas as you go. So it's okay to kind of start without knowing exactly what you're going to do sometimes, and then you can see what happens. I mean, it's great both ways. sometimes it's better to start with a plan and follow that plan all the way to the end, so you can make it work however you want. Alright, so I kind of have my sunrise clouds going on here for my clock. Now I'm thinking about the background. My clock is like very outdoorsy looking to me with my bird and sky and flowers. So just for fun, I'm going to put my clock, I'll put it on a shelf, still like it's inside. Then I'm going to put some grass and things around it just as decoration. You remember we want to use the whole page, so we want to have something under our paper or behind it so that we can go all the way to the edge and color off the edge of the paper without ruining the table underneath it. There's my little shelf there. I tried to keep my lines going the same direction, just like wood. It will have the lines going the same way. Kind of have some white spots here. I'm going to try to fill those in a little bit more. It's probably okay to have some because the wood has variation of color in it or a value. Okay, now let's get some grass here. This is just going to be kind of for fun. Like I'm imagining that there's some grass on the shelf with my clock, which could be fake grass, just like a springtime decoration, or I don't know what, but I think it'll be fun to have some green in the background. Alright, and then I already put the sky in here, but I'm going to do some similar colors in the background too. So let me get that going here. I'm doing that just so that the whole picture kind of blends harmoniously with itself. The elements in the picture go together. So I don't want my background to take away from what I did in the foreground. The clock is the main focus. So instead of doing something totally different in the background, I'm trying to kind of keep it on a similar theme. If so one way to do that is to use the same kinds of colors in the background, or I also could have just chosen like a dark color or a neutral color for the background so that kind of frames it, but you still focus on the main picture when you look at it. So you can decide what works for you. Again, I'm keeping my drawing going the same direction. One direction. So it's smooth lines. Okay, let's get that pink back in there. The sunrise. See lots of pastel colors in the sky, kind of like they're all mixed with white, which makes sense because the clouds are white. Some of that yellow back in it. Okay, well I've got my morning sunrise clock, even though it says 12:48 p.m. Okay, that's kind of fun. So I hope you enjoyed drawing your clock today. I would love to see it if you're able to send me a picture. Um, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great one. Bye.